Hello everybody, my name is Decibel and I like to make manga. So I just read the last chapter of Chainsaw Man Part 2 and I have quite a bit of thoughts on it. For one, it sucks that Chainsaw Man has to go out in this sort of way. Like a rushed ending that just comes out of nowhere, especially right in the middle of Chainsaw Man and Yoru fighting. It's kind of how the fight was interrupted because apparently Denji and Pochita later on get eaten by a devil and we never see it. But anyways, to me it seems like Fujimoto was trying to create a sort of open ending to where it doesn't really resolve much things, and it's up to the audience's interpretation on how things end. I'm fine with Chainsaw Man having an open ending, but my main gripe with it is that rather than leaving questions unanswered, it creates more questions alongside those unanswered questions. But I guess most importantly, the ending wasn't really set up, at all. Or at least the ending that we got. Because the ending that was set up was Denji beating Yoru, and then everyone clapped. Also, just a little side note, I'm not gonna go too in depth with the ending, or at least analyze it deeply. And also, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty mixed about the story kind of restarting back to the start, if you get what I mean. And I know that Fujimoto likes to do this thing where his stories end where they start, but honestly, part two just ending where part one starts is a little bit egregious. But I do kind of like how part one, or at least the ending to part two, is the sort of bizarro world of part one, where there are just little things that are off, that's pretty cool. I like that. Or one example is how in this bizarro part one where Power likes dogs instead of cats, and how Makima is now Nayuta, and Nayuta likes cats instead of dogs. It's kind of reversal of things. I also kind of like how the part two ending kind of mishmashes the start of part one and the start of part two together, like how how Denji fights the zombie devil, or I guess Power does in this case, and then Denji becomes a devil hunter, and then it combines it kind of school aspects of part two at the start. Yeah, I also like that too. And this ending also sets up a pretty easy Chainsaw Man modulo, if you know what I mean. But those are just my overall thoughts on the ending to part 2 of Chainsaw Man. It sucks that Chainsaw Man has to end this way, but I also respect Fujimoto for also committing to this kind of ending. But those are just my thoughts, and so everybody, goodbye and have a good day.